I will not serve. I will not obey. My will is my own, and I defy the Lord.
Pride. It's often called the deadliest of the 7 deadly sins. But what makes it so dangerous? Today we're exploring how this subtle force can reshape our entire worldview without us even noticing.
That's such an intriguing way to frame it. You know what caught my attention in this reflection? The powerful opening statement about no wisdom standing against the Lord. It immediately sets up this tension between human understanding and something greater.
And then it dives into this fascinating story about Lucifer, right? Here's this perfect being who essentially self-destructs because of pride. The reflection uses this as a kind of cautionary tale that feels surprisingly relevant to modern life.
Well, that's what makes it so compelling. I mean, we might not be trying to overthrow heaven, but we've all had those moments of thinking we know better than everyone else.
You know what's really interesting? Studies in psychology have shown that excessive pride is often linked to what's called the better-than-average effect, where about 80% of people rate themselves as above average in most positive traits, which is statistically impossible.
Oh, wow. That really brings home how pride can distort our self-perception. The reflection talks about pride as this lens that warps everything. That's basically what those studies are showing, isn't it?
Exactly. And here's something else fascinating. Researchers have found that the more expertise people gain in a field, the more likely they are to recognize their own limitations. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it kind of perfectly aligns with this reflection's emphasis on humility.
That's such an interesting connection between modern psychology and these ancient wisdom traditions. How do you think this plays out in our daily lives?
Well, think about social media. Studies show that excessive social media use is associated with increased narcissistic traits. It's like we're creating these perfect digital versions of ourselves, which is exactly what the reflection warns about with self-worship.
And that ties right into what the reflection says about pride leading to isolation. When we're caught up in maintaining this perfect image, we're actually disconnecting from authentic relationships.
And you know what's really striking? The reflection talks about pride and selfishness as sisters, and recent neurological studies have shown that pride actually activates the same brain regions as social rejection. It's like our brains are literally pushing others away.
That's fascinating. So, there's actually a biological basis for what the reflection describes as spiritual isolation.
Exactly. And here's another interesting parallel. Psychological research has identified something called healthy pride versus hubristic pride. Healthy pride motivates achievement and connection, while hubristic pride, which is what the reflection warns against, leads to aggression and social problems.
So it's not about eliminating all pride. It's about finding that balance between confidence and humility.
Right. And this is where the reflection's emphasis on trust becomes so important. Studies in organizational psychology show that leaders who practice humble leadership actually achieve better results than those who lead through dominance and self-promotion.
That really challenges our cultural narrative about success requiring a big ego, doesn't it?
It does. And get this, research from the Harvard Business Review found that companies with humble CEOs experienced higher return on assets, better employee satisfaction, and lower turnover rates.
The way you're connecting these modern findings with the reflection's ancient wisdom is really eye-opening. What about the personal level, though? How do we actually practice this?
Well, the reflection suggests shifting focus away from ourselves, and mindfulness research supports this. Studies show that practices focusing on gratitude and connection actually reduce narcissistic tendencies and increase well-being.
That's so interesting. It's like science is confirming what spiritual traditions have been saying for centuries.
And here's something else fascinating. Research on the psychology of humility shows it's associated with better learning outcomes, stronger relationships, and even better mental health. It's like what the reflection says about freedom from pride. There are measurable benefits.
The evidence really seems to support this ancient wisdom. What do you think about the reflection's solution of trusting in something greater than ourselves?
Well, whether that's God, community, or simply acknowledging our place in the larger universe, studies show that people who maintain this broader perspective tend to be more resilient and satisfied with life. It's what psychologists call transcendent self-concept.
So in a way, modern science is giving us new language for these timeless truths about pride and humility.
Exactly. And what's particularly interesting is how this plays out in relationships. Research shows that couples who practice mutual humility have stronger, more satisfying partnerships. It's exactly what the reflection suggests about pride-building walls between people.
That really brings it all together. From ancient wisdom to modern research, the message